What's up, bro?
Yo.
You guys ready? You guys ready?
Yeah, bro.
Awesome. All right. Hey, what is up, guys? We're the 90-Minute Club. Today is June 9th. We are at the 90-Minute Club. Use the hashtag 90-Minute Club. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and also watch our videos on YouTube as well. The beautiful game is always 90 minutes or more. The first thing I want to discuss is all the Nations League matches will be televised on Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, Fubo TV, which is a streaming service, and there's VIX. It's called VIX. They're a Spanish streaming channel, and they are our partner with TUDN. And I want to talk to you, Ann, first, because I know you've been using the VIX app to watch the Nations League matches if they're not televised on television. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, it was a really cool app you found because for some reason, usually there's 2 games a day and only one is on TV. So if you want to watch both, you could use that to stream. The only problem is it's in Spanish, but it's a free streaming service, so you can't complain these days because everything you need to pay for. So,
absolutely, guys. Just make sure you download the app. It's available for Apple, Android devices, on your smart TVs. It is available. If you type in VIX in the App Store, there is an orange app and with white letters. Just hit Deportes, and all the games are available on that app. We're going to start first with Italy-Argentina. I know it's been about a couple weeks or so when that match did happen. It was televised on Fox Sports 1. And I'm going to say my opinion about it first, and I'll let you guys tag along with it. It was an Italian disaster, to say the least. I didn't think any player on that pitch looked like they wanted to play, besides, I would say maybe Donnarumma in the second half, and I would say Barella, maybe Bastoni for a little bit, but besides them, I feel like they put no pressure, nothing on this game alone. We didn't even take a shot on goal. We didn't even reach the goal line at all. Maybe one shot with Locatelli, which was a low deflection, but nothing crazy that actually contested the goalkeeper. Chiellini's farewell was the only positive thing about this game. I mean, he was an amazing defender. God bless him, but at the end of the day, it's time to move on. And you did see this game that the likes of Chiellini, Bonucci, was time to move on from that, and maybe Bastoni and Mancini will be the next two to be that next back line, kind of like a partnership of what they had. But for me, Lautaro Martinez was the man of the match. He scored a goal, got an assist in the match. He deserves a man of the match, in my opinion. I mean, Messi is Messi. What he did on the pitch is fantastic. The only thing was missing was a goal, but Lautaro Martinez matched the man for me. Any thoughts on the Italy-Argentina game? We're going to start with you, Ant.
yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of this new thing that people didn't know how to take it. So I don't know if Italy took it that seriously. It didn't look like they did with the lineup and kind of just how they played. They got absolutely dominated. So no excuses to Argentina. They're the better team right now, clearly. They're in the World Cup. We're not. They're one of the favorites for the World Cup, I would say. And they showed that. And it sucks that was Chiellini's last match. It sucks how we went out for him, but I think that game was the end for a lot of players. Like you said, Bonucci, Chiellini, Belotti.
Jorginho, too.
Yeah, Jorginho.
Maybe.
I think it was kind of like a farewell match for everyone, for not everyone, a lot of players that hasn't been announced yet, but we're going to start. We've already seen Bonucci hasn't played since then. Belotti he left for the Nations League. So I think Jorginho too. I think that was the last game of the old era, and the last 2 games we've seen like kind of the younger players get a chance and like start of the rebuild new era. So while that game sucked, I am excited to see the kind of the rebuild that we've been seeing the last 2 Nation League games.
Dylan, any thoughts on the Italy-Argentina match? Anything you want to discuss during the match that happened? I know you had a couple of quotes you wanted to mention. So anything you want to discuss?
I mean, one thing that I think Ant retweeted it. It was actually like a really good quote. It says I forget what it said, but something along the lines of like a lot of the people, like Italy fans, were thinking that this was like the team that they were going to use moving forward, but more or less it was like a farewell. I forget the word verbiage that was used, but more or less it was kind of like a farewell, almost like a passing of the torch match. And I think that was kind of right. I think that with the lineup that Italy came out with, it was like maybe a lot of their last games, honestly, not just Chiellini's. They just looked slow out there. They looked a step behind. Messi was running all through the midfield. Di Maria was running all over the place. On that goal that he scored, the through ball like right before halftime, he would just like the back line was just simply too slow to catch him. And like Italy's always been known for their defense and like keeping games close, even if they lose. Like, but it honestly could have been worse than 3-0. I think Donnarumma saved them a couple times. I think Italy looked pretty rough, and that's no slight to Argentina. They're one of the best teams in the world. It was good to see Messi play good again, and I think it was kind of cool to see Dybala and Martinez score, just because we talked about this last week. It was like the crossover of the Serie A players that played in Argentina and in Italy. I feel like that was kind of cool. But yeah, overall, I think you guys covered it. I think for me, man of the match is Messi because I'm biased, but I thought that he controlled the middle pretty well. And then obviously set up the 2 goals. Would have liked to see him score. And then if I had to pick a man of the match for Italy, I'd probably say, yeah, I guess Donnarumma. I understand he led in 3 goals, but it wasn't really his fault. If it wasn't for him, it probably could have been 6 or 7, honestly, because they didn't really have any attacks. So I can't really give the man of the match to any players on the field.
Interesting fact I want to say.
I'm sorry. Go.
That was the first time Donnarumma has let up more than 2 goals in his Italy career, and he's been the goalies for, I think, like 6 years now. So, yeah, just terrible game. And but that also shows how great Italy has been since Buffon left. They kind of haven't lost a step at all with Donnarumma. And I know he had a little rough patch with PSG, but for Italy, he's always just been a rock, and he's been amazing. And like I said, that was the first time he's ever let up more than 2 goals in a game. So let's hope he can start a new streak with that.
Another quote I want to mention, I thank you, Dylan, for messaging me this quote, but it's from Goal TV, and Roberto Mancini says this: Lionel Messi once again proved why he's the greatest player of all time. He was crazy against us. Any thoughts on this quote, guys?
Who said that, Mancini?
Roberto Mancini, yeah. It was posted on goal.com.
I mean, I think because there was like a picture of there was like 4 defenders trying to bring him down. He was just a step ahead of the team, the Italy team. I don't know if this game alone makes him the best, but I think it. I mean, he kind of just ran through them. It was like Chiellini and Bonucci were like pulling his shirt and nobody can catch him. It just, I don't know if it was how good Argentina was or just how slow Italy was, but I mean, obviously it's good to hear. I think in terms of Mancini, I don't know how much longer he has left. I think that he's starting to turn things around with the Nations League, so that's good. But no, it's cool to hear, I guess.
Anything else we want to add on the Italy-Argentina game, or we want to move on to the Nations League?
We could move forward.
Okay. So obviously we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the Nations League, and how the Nations League works is you have A1, A2, A3, A4, which is your main groups. And if you get first place in A1, A2, A3, A4, you'll play in pretty much kind of like a mini World Cup tournament away, to win the Nations League trophy. Last year, the 4 countries that were in the Nations League Final 4 was Italy, Belgium, France, and Spain. And obviously France won that tournament, so the only way Italy could go back in this tournament and go back into the Nations League Final 4 would be they have to win the group. And their group is very tough alongside Hungary, England, and obviously Germany. The game that happened against Germany, it ended 1-1. It was on Fox Sports 2. By the way, great coverage, by the way. The first half was open a little bit by both sides. It was definitely a new formation. But it did bring a new impact and it bring new generation, as Anthony did mention. This was the formation that we started with. We had Donnarumma in net, you had Fiorenzi, Acerbi, Bastoni, Biraghi, then you had Fratesi, Cristante, Tonali, and then you had Politano, Scamacca, Pellegrini. In the start of the match, you see, Scamacca hit the post a couple of times. He played well off the ball. Politano, I think, was fantastic. I thought it was outstanding. I really thought he brought the pressure, and I feel like this is something we really needed in those qualifying matches. I don't know why Mancini was against them, but well. And then out of nowhere, we see this kid named Jota. I never heard of him in my life. I'm going to be honest with you. I know he's been on the youth academy for Inter. This kid comes at, I think it was like 60 or 70 a minute. He plays after like 5-10 minutes. You know, he gets a good block. He obtains the foul, and he gets his first assist in his first game. He passed the ball to Pellegrini, easy tap in, and the weight off of Mancini's shoulders was like they were in dreamland at that point. After not even 3-4 minutes later, we could see the goal. I believe the goal was scored by Kimmich for Germany, and a possible controversial handball. So a possible controversial handball that was in the box that should have been called. A controversial handball that should have been called in the box. But overall, a great performance. Anything, Anthony, could you hear me? Did you hear anything? Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to start with you, Ant. Obviously, before the match, we were nervous. It is Germany. 4-time world champions. We haven't played them in pretty much quite some time now. What did you think of the overall match?
Yeah, I mean, I think we played pretty well for the amount of changes we made in the lineup. Like I said, we're starting a new era, so Mancini's trying out a lot of new players, some that have never played before, like Yonto and a couple other guys. But I think the tie is a fair result. I mean, obviously we scored and then conceded right away. Obviously you never want to do that, but I'll take a 1-1 tie against Germany right at this moment with the kind of rebuild that we've been talking about. Obviously I would have loved to win. Germany's kind of not a big rival, but it's a team we have history with and always want to beat them. But like I said, I'll take the tie right now. And Yonto was amazing. He provided a spark that we haven't seen in a while. So I just hope that we could continue playing these youngsters and they could develop and just keep pushing us forward to the next generation.
Anything you want to add, Dylan, on the match? And by the way, another question is, I know both you guys have been playing soccer for long. I'm going to go ask for Dylan. Was it a handball in the box? And should the goal have been allowed, yes or no?
I think it was close. I think it's kind of one of those that, like, you have to, like, roll with the call on the field, like, at the moment. So, like, sometimes, I don't know, VAR goes back and forth, but it's kind of like something like, unless it's, like, ridiculously, like, blatant, like, you can't overturn it type of deal. So I guess I understand why the goal went through. So obviously I would like it to not happen, but I'm okay with it. Overall in the game itself, I think I'm okay with the draw as well, because we kind of tried a bunch of new stuff. If you look at the lineup versus the lineup when we played Argentina, like about 5 days earlier, there was a lot of changes, which is why we said before that it was kind of like a farewell lineup, just to give these guys one last dance. And, like, clearly the last dance didn't work, so we got to try some new guys. It was nice to see Scamacca get in there, Politano, and then you talked about some of the subs as well, which was great. And then I think I wanted to say there was a stat about Pellegrini. I saw it on Twitter. You might have posted it, Mick. It was like all of his goals have been against, like, big time teams.
Yes, they have. I believe he scored obviously against Germany. Obviously the Hungary match he did score. I believe he scored against Spain in a match previously. But he's been on form. And an interesting fact about Pellegrini, Scamacca, and Spinazzola, they were all part of, I believe, Roma's youth academy. according. I know, Anthony, you know more than me. I think they're a part of Roma's youth academy. They're outstanding, and what Roma's done with their youth academy has been outstanding. And this is something that needs to continue, not just for the Italian national team, but in Serie A in general, because you need to see the young kids form, and just like how we're developing now. You saw these 4 kids. You say them last year. You say last year, 2 years ago. You say where these kids are, but now they're superstars, and we got to continue just like this. But for me, the big question for me was, I don't understand why VR wasn't used at that moment. I feel like it was, but it was checked too quickly. Sometimes they check on the screen, sometimes they don't. So that's something I still find confusing about VAR. You can check on the screen, sometimes you can't. It still mind boggles me. Like if you saw the match against it was England and Germany, for the one foul on Harry Kane that wasn't a foul. They checked with they obviously checked on camera and everything else, but they should have checked. They should have done a better job. Overall, it was a point. It was a well-deserved point for both teams, I would say, and it's good to move on. Any other things anybody wants to add on Italy Germany?
No.
Good, man.
Okay. And we're going to talk about the next match. The next match we played was Italy against Hungary, which Italy did win 2-1, and the formation did change a little bit. It was Donnarumma and net. Defense was Calabria, Mancini, Bastoni, Spinazzola. Spinazzola's first game starting since the injury he received in Euro 2020 against Belgium when he tore his Achilles. Then you had Pellegrini, Cristante, Barella, and then you had Politano, Gnotto, and Raspadori. Gnotto starting his first game after the wonder assist he had the game previously against Germany. A couple of things I want to add, and then you guys can add your thoughts. That Zurian looked fantastic, maintaining possession of the ball. And for me, the main reason why is Spinazzola. And you really did see the presence when you had him on the pitch, what he deserves. Yes, he did get an assist. He got an assist in the match when he passed the ball to Barella. By the way, amazing strike. And by the way, I want to shout out you, Ant. Thank you for those videos. I really do appreciate it. The enthusiasm you had after that goal. You're like, Barella. I love it. We got to keep doing that. I love it. It's great. Absolute bullet of a rock from the Inter man. Obviously, Anthony, you're happy about that. The goalkeeper did get a little touch on it, but it wasn't enough. In the 45th minute, Politano, beautiful nutmeg he had on the right side, gets the ball in the middle. Gnotto misses it, but Pellegrini scores with easy tap in. His two goals in 2 games in the Nations League already so far. We're seeing a hot streak from Pellegrini right now. Unfortunately, the only thing that I feel like we messed up in the match was the own goal by Mancini. It wasn't his fault, it's a little unlucky, but at the end of the day, we got the 3 points. We won 2-1, and that's the only thing I want to add. Anything you guys want to add on the Italy-Hungary game?
Yeah, I would say this has been my favorite lineup since the Euros. Just a mix of young players and players that are gonna be big forces in the future. I would say if we were in the World Cup, this would be kind of close to the strongest lineup we have. But yeah, the first half we were absolutely dominant. It reminded me of the group stages of the Euros where we just blew everyone out, and it was amazing to see. Pellegrini has been amazing. Every time he plays, it seems like he scores, and he's so versatile. He can play left wing, he could play center mid, cam. He could play anywhere. He's very versatile, and he's still young. I think he needs to be a starter moving forward. Raspadori looked great. Barella, I don't know if you guys saw the stat. Since Mancini has taken over, he is tied for most goals, which is kind of you don't really want your center mid to be leading in goals, but it just shows that he could do anything. He's the rock in the midfield. He's probably the future captain of Italy. Obviously, as an Inter fan, I love him. He's my favorite player. He just has such heart that I wish everyone had. And he could score like we've seen. He's scored 8 goals since Mancini has taken over. And he's not like a center attacking midfielder. He's a box-to-box midfielder. So for him to score 8 goals, that's just amazing. And especially since we kind of lack strikers, that's very important for us for him to get goals and other people to get goals. And Yonto had a great first start. He didn't get the goal, but he's always moving forward. He always wants to attack, take his man on, and again, that's another thing we need. If he was there for the Northern Ireland game or Macedonia, who knows what would have happened. But I can't wait to keep seeing him in the lineups. And we have a big match against England, so I think Scamacca will be back in there. And, you know, England's our kind of rivals right now. We have a lot of back and forth on Twitter after the Euros and stuff, so I would really love to beat them and send them back for relegation in the Nations League. That would be amazing.
I love the comments saying that. I love it. Anything you want to add, Dylan, on Italy-Hungary?
I think you guys got it. Pellegrini's got to stay in the lineup forever.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah, you guys got it.
Me, another thing was, out of nowhere, I watched the match, and guess who? Guess who's a sub during the match? And Anthony, you said I never want to see him ever again, and it happened. Belotti. What was your thoughts on him during the match? Do you think he should have came on as a sub?
He's too slow.
Or do you want to see him ever again?
Yeah, like Dill said, he's just too slow. There is like a thing. He does do things well. He always runs hard, and like he has the heart too. It's just he's not good enough. He's not someone you want to be your lone striker because he's not this prolific goal scorer. I don't mind seeing him as a sub in those kinds of situations where you're just you're up a goal or whatever, trying to kill the game off. He could hold the ball up, waste time, but other than that, I don't see a purpose in him anymore. He did leave the team for the remaining Nations League game, so we won't. I don't.
That's the best blessing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see him again. Like I said, I wouldn't mind if we don't. Just kind of want to move forward and develop a striker, either Scamacca, Raspadori, Yonto, whoever it is. They should all be getting the chances. And if we're going to keep playing Belotti, then I'd rather just have Immobile back.
I agree, and that's something you mentioned to me.
Yeah.
And that still mind boggles me because if you look at both the two during the national team in general, Immobile scored more goals than Belotti, I believe. Just in general. I mean, yeah, he only scored 2 goals in the Euros, but once it came to coming back, I mean, you did see without Belotti, without Immobile, how he struggled because he does take defenders on, he puts the pressure, and then you have those wide open spaces, and that's something we may have missed. But I wouldn't mind him being on bench. I actually wouldn't mind that at all. If there's somebody I would like to see, your boy, former, he's from Empoli, Pinamonte. I would love to see him. He's a fantastic kid, very young. I would love to see him maybe get a call up soon. I thought he did on the last 30 players, whatever it was. I know some got dropped, but I would love to see him play. He's somebody I want to see play. Anything else you guys want to add?
I just wanted to say another thing on Immobile. We're kind of seeing that he maybe is kind of the scapegoat because a striker hasn't scored for Italy in, I think it was 8 games or something. So, yes.
Last striker to score, I believe, was, I think, Chiesa, right?
Yeah, but he's not even a striker. So I would say the last striker to score was Immobile against Switzerland in the group stage. So,
I believe so, yeah.
I think.
No, well, Insigne, could you call Insigne a striker? I mean, he did score.
Nah, I wouldn't. But it just shows that, yes, he was part of it. He's had his chances and he didn't get the job done. But we've seen that other people haven't got the job done also. I think Italy they've always played like this. Even when we won the World Cup in 2006, we didn't have a clear number one striker that was just lighting it up. In 2006, we saw everyone would score goals, midfield, defense, strikers. So I think that's just kind of how Italy plays. They're more of a defensive team that is just going to get goals from everywhere. So I think the criticism on Immobile was it was right, but it's also I think they're a little too hard on him because I think it's just a system that doesn't allow for strikers to just be like the main focal point. So just I think Immobile should have his criticism, but it's too much. It's too much.
No, I agree. Like I said, it is too much, and he is getting a little bit too much of backlash of everything happening. And was everything his fault? No, but at the end of the day, when you're the striker, you're the guy up front, you get the blame because at the end of the day, you got to put the ball back in the net, and that's the reality. But something I want to mention is there was a tweet posted by Italy Propaganda. I don't know if you guys know him, very, very popular on Twitter. He posted a lot about the Thai national team and obviously about Serie A. And he quoted this on Tuesday. He said, "I can't decide if a Germany win or a draw between England and Germany obviously would be better for us, to be honest." And this is what Acast said on Twitter. He said, "Depends if you want to ensure we don't get relegated or if you want to fight for the semis." And I love this quote you said, Anthony. I agree. What's your opinion on what was going through your mind when England and Germany was playing at the same time as Italy-Hungary?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for the tie because I want Italy to win this group and go to the semis. I know Italy prop, I don't know his real name, obviously, but he is kind of like down on Italy right now, and he was just hoping for them to not get relegated. So we just have different kind of mindsets right now. If that's what the mindset is, if you just want Italy to maybe come in second or third and ensure not relegation, then I think Germany win would have been better. But like I said, I wanted the tie. That ensured Italy to be in first place still. So, I mean, I think we got to push for the title, for the Nations League title, because obviously we don't have the World Cup. So this should be our main focus right now. And it would be great to win this as like kind of not a consolation prize, but just like a step in the right direction. So that's what I'm going for.
I agree. And like I said, that's something I love that you mentioned that. And I believe Mancini, I think let's say if Italy does win the Nations League, I think he'll be the first coach in history to win a Euro and a Nations League back-to-back. Not many coaches have done that. So it'll be pretty interesting to see a coach in Europe do that with the national team as well. Another thing I want to mention to you guys, I'm going to go with you, Dylan. And my question for you is, our next two matches will be against England this Saturday on the 11th, and I think on the 14th against Germany, which is a Tuesday. On those two games we play against Italy and Germany, would you rather tie against England or Germany?
I mean, based on how the standings work out, I think we'd want to beat Germany, right?
Right now, the standings are Italy with 4 points, Hungary with 3, Germany with 2, and England has 1 point.
Yeah, so Germany doesn't have a win. So if we could take 3 points off them, that'd be massive. And I always like beating Germany. So obviously I'd like to win both. But I think that a tie versus England, like if they get a point from us, we get a point from them, that wouldn't do as much harm. But I don't know. I think like the Germany game was close last time. We had the lead for about 2 minutes and then gave it up. But I think that's the game I would like to win. Just something about beating Germany is just, I don't know, warms my heart.
What about you, Ant? Which game would you, if you had a tie in one of the two games, what would it be, England or Germany?
Yeah, I think Dill said it right. Although it is going to be really hard to beat Germany in Germany, so I would take a tie again. I guess it all depends on what happens in our game on Sunday against England. I think we got to push for the win there and really kind of build a lead here in the group, and then we could go from there and see, what's going to happen in the next Germany game. But obviously that Hungary win was huge. If we tied that, it would have been a disaster. So I'm glad we could have first for right now, and Sunday is a huge day and another kind of must win for me.
You mean Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Sorry, you good. So obviously, in my opinion, this is what I would like. I know we play England in England. I know it's going to be tough to play over there. I mean, the last time we did play, in England, obviously, was the Finalissima. Before that, it was the Euros in the final when we won against England. So it's going to be a big rematch. I know England wants the revenge, especially with what happened in that final. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Harry Kane in the Germany match, he missed a couple wide open chances. So his head, mentally, sometimes it can't be there, But at the end of the day, when he got that penalty, he stuck him back in the net, and he's going to be such a dangerous player. And who knows? Is Jack Grealish going to play? Another player I'm really excited is I like Bernard Sacco. I know he missed the penalty in the final, but he's a wonder kid. He's going to be something. I really like him a lot. He's going to be something. But when you look at this match, Italy against England, Italy should go there and get the 3 points against Germany. Obviously, in Germany, I think it's in Munich. I don't know 100% or it's in Dortmund. One of the two, it's going to obviously be. But to play there, it's going to be tough. Even a tie would be perfect. So let's say hypothetically, let's say Italy gets a win against England. That's 7 points. England still has 1. And then let's say Hungary against Germany. That's going to be an interesting game because that game just happened, the Euros. That game ended 2-2 for Hungary-Germany. What a game that was. And Hungary is not easy challenge by any means. Like, they gave us a fight to the very end in the Nations League match we just played. So it's really going to be interesting how they play against Germany. I mean, this Germany side right now, if you think about it, they got 2 draws in 2 games. So they really, really need a win coming up. So they're going to really, really push for it. So it's really going to see what's going to happen in the next match to see. Anything you guys want to add else on the Italy-Hungary game? On their next upcoming match against England? Anything you guys want to see?
I just want to keep seeing the youngsters perform. That's the main focus. Obviously, wins are crucial, but as long as these young kids keep playing and keep developing, that's the main focus for me.
No, I agree. Like I said, you couldn't have said it better. And I'm going to say a quote. IFTV posted this, I believe, yesterday. And this is what they stated. They said, for Italy, I'd even play without a finger. This is what Gianluigi Donnarumma said after the game against Hungary. I know he had an injury to his finger previously against Germany. He was kind of flinching, but the game against Hungary, he seemed like he was okay. He's a little injured, but he still decided to put on the pitch, and he's a warrior, and that's exactly what we need. Anything you guys want to add on Gianluigi Donnarumma on his match against Hungary?
He's been playing good. I hope he keeps going.
Anything you want to add, Ant?
Nope. Love him. That's all.
And by the way, guys, the next match against England will be this Saturday on June 11th. It will be at 2:45, available on either Fubo TV, which is a streaming service, which they're merged with Fox. So if you want to watch that match, you can watch your Fubo TV, or like we mentioned before, it's going to be on VIX. It's VIX. It's going to be it's a Spanish streaming service, which is merged with TDUN, which is a Warner company of Univision. So if you guys want to watch that match, it will be on those two channels for streaming. This will be a rematch of Euro 2020, as mentioned as well. Other matches I want to mention that I thought were interesting. I thought the Denmark-France match was probably one most interesting match for me. France started the match. Benzema scored an amazing goal. Amazing touches of the ball. Absolutely fantastic. Phenomenal career he's having this year. And obviously Denmark came back and scored 2 goals, won that match. And Denmark actually got the revenge against France since 2018. And also Croatia tied against France 1-1, which was a rematch of the final, which was played in 2018. France only got 1 point in 2 games. What do you think on France and their form so far, Ant?
Yeah, I think it just kind of shows that this World Cup's going to be really amazing because I think 5 or 6 teams could realistically win it. I don't think there is one team that is like for sure the favorites. Like I would put my money on France, but like we just seen, they're kind of struggling in Nations League. So I think it's also, this is like another reason that it really sucks Italy's not there, because I think we could have been in contention to win it, just because it's kind of so wide open right now. There's a lot of good teams that are very close in talent and ability. So I'm just excited to keep watching these Nations League games and the World Cup to start in November. I can't wait.
Anything you want to add, Dylan, on France and their form, and they only received 1 point in 2 matches. What do you think on that? What do you think France should be doing in the future?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's rough. For them, I think that they lost to Denmark, and who they tied Croatia, right?
Yeah, they lost against Denmark 2-1, tied against Croatia 1-1.
I mean, Croatia's no slouch, obviously, and they were winning that game. They let up a PK in like the last 5 minutes of the game, I think. So I mean, I think France is still a really tough team. I was also like looking at the lineup for France that like ended the game. Like Ben Yedder was playing up top. They had like Diaby, Rabiot. Rabiot normally would play. Chouameni. I mean, they had like a bunch of new guys. It looks like it wasn't Lloris in goal. They looked like they were kind of mix and matching a few things, like Benzema, Mbappe. They didn't finish. I mean, I don't know if Pug was going to be in, but he wasn't there. So I think they're probably playing around kind of just the way Italy is with their lineup, just to see, get their youngsters ready. I know that, they have a very deep roster. They're probably one of the deepest, where like their second team can beat like some team's first team. So I think that they're probably still messing around. I think when it comes time, like when they have to play their guys, that they'll put it together. But for right now, they're not looking great. And then Denmark's really no slouch, even though, because I don't know, they're one of those like European teams that doesn't really get blown out, and they always give people tough games. So I was kind of happy for them to see them win. I don't remember who scored, but yeah, happy for Denmark.
We also got a comment from Almer Yaich. He said, put respect to my guys. And Dylan, you absolutely did that. And I agree. Like I said, Croatia is a phenomenal team. I mean, they almost won the World Cup in 2018. Fantastic. The exact date of the World Cup, I believe it starts, I would say mid-November, maybe early November. And I know the opening match will be, it'll be Qatar, Ecuador. I don't know exactly. I'll keep you updated on that. Another thing I want to add is just like, I guess I'm shocked, to say believe, because like when you see a team like France, you have Griezmann, Mbappe, Pogba. I mean, out of all the players who scored in the second game, it was Rabiot. Like, wait, what? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Juventus, he hasn't done much at all when he played. So I'm really shocked. At all the players that had to score for France, it was him. But overall, they look like a struggling nation, and I believe the main reason is their back line. And that's something that, for example, Italy has struggled with in the past, and obviously other nations as well. So that's something they need to adjust, and if they don't do that quick, they might be relegated into Group B, and that might be the shock of the Nations League so far. You guys want to move on to the next match?
Yeah.
Or no? So the next couple matches I want to discuss is we have another comment from Amr Yaj, who says, if all the stadiums being built and are closed, I mean have a roof, why couldn't they start in the summer? I believe it's something with Qatar and their federation. Obviously, I believe the average day is more than 100 degrees. So what they did was they put it in wintertime to just to make it better. I mean, the only big struggle about it is obviously us in the United States and a lot of people in Europe. During that time, it's Black Friday, and holidays are coming up, so it's going to be really difficult for us to watch those games. But we'll definitely do another podcast discussing that topic later. I really do appreciate the comment. Thank you so much. Next game we're going to talk about is Spain. So we look at Spain. They tied against Portugal and Czech Republic. They tied against Portugal 1-1. They tied against the Czech Republic 2-2. What's your thoughts on Spain, and do you think they're struggling? I'm going to go with you, Ant.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an emphasis on what I said earlier about teams just being kind of so tight right now. Spain, who I think would be another one of the favorites for the World Cup, got 2 ties. So I think this just shows the Nations League is, for Group A especially. Sorry, what is the whole, just A? The A group of it?
Yeah, so it's A1, A2, A3, A4, yeah.
So there's a number of amazing teams in Group A, and we see this in Italy's group for one, that they're pretty powerhouses that one might get relegated, one will. So it's very competitive with it only being a group stage and then immediately onto the semis. So I think it's just I really like the Nations League. I like how they eliminated friendlies and added this little competition. But it shows it like emphasizes more of everyone's team, like trying new players out and giving younger players chances or whatever. And it's cool that there's like relegation and all this. So I love it, and I hope they continue it for like forever, honestly.
Anything you want to add on Spain's form, Dylan, and what do you think they need to do to move on out of the group, and any players you believe that should really come out and make a difference?
I mean, 2 ties isn't the end of the world. Obviously, Portugal's a tough team, and in that game too, they were winning for like, I don't know, I think they let up a goal in like the 85th minute or something. So I don't think that's a bad tie. And then
yeah, in the 82nd. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, and then they tie the Czech Republic, who, I mean, they always play everybody pretty good too. They're one of those teams that's like super scrappy. Czech Republic beat Switzerland. They're actually losing to Portugal right now, if you want a live update. And then Spain's also winning 1-0 right now. So versus Switzerland. So I mean, I guess in terms of getting back on track, if they close this game out, that will do it. I think like probably their, I guess, star player would be Manta, in terms of like their leading goal scorer, at least in the past couple games. And then they have Ferran Torres, who's pretty solid. I like to think he's young and he could step up. But I think they're also like a pretty deep team. Like they have a lot of subs and a lot of guys that play in like the La Liga that a lot of people haven't heard of. I mean, even if you look at their bench, like I was just looking at their bench, like Koke, Ansu Fati, Asensio, Rodri, Marcos Alonso. These are like big name guys. So I think they're kind of like some of those other nations we mentioned, just trying to find their way, trying to mix things up and see what formation suits best. They obviously have Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, like the core guys too. I always like the way Spain plays. I think they'll be fine, especially if they win this game. It's going to come down to them or Portugal in that bracket, I believe, but I think that's pretty obvious.
So as of now, like you said, Spain is leading 1-0 right now, and the standings do hold in that group for it's Group A2. Portugal right now has 7 points, and Spain has 5. So let's say if it did end right now, Portugal would move on to the Nations League knockout stage. And me, I'm just kind of shocked, like how in the Spain match against the Czechs, if you really think about it, the Czech Republic started off. They scored the first goal, then Gavi ties it. Then Kuchka, a former Serie A player, has been playing there. Gorgeous chip over the keeper to make it 2-1. And then I know where Iñigo Martinez ties the game at 2-2. But what a match! Just to be a football fan, just to watch that. But is Spain struggling? I would say yes and no. I mean, I feel like the big factor for me is who's going to be that next big striker when Morata does decide to move on. And I think it might be Gavi. However, he might not be like a center big striker. So that's a big role they're missing, just like how the Italians are missing, I would say, in that perspective, that big guy. It might be Scamacca, but who knows? But amazing stuff. From, I would say, just like the whole group in general for A2. I'm going to move on to the next match. Belgium, in their first game, they lost against the Netherlands 4-1. However, yesterday they defeated Poland 6-1. Belgium, one game they get destroyed, one game they destroy teams. Like, what's going on with Belgium? What's going on with the waffle makers?
I think that's kind of how they've been for a while now. This golden generation that they've had has just been so inconsistent. One game they look like the number one team in the world, like they've been ranked in FIFA, and then other games they just don't have it. I think we all kind of expected them to win something by now with this golden generation, whether that be a Euros or World Cup, and they just haven't gotten it done. And I think this World Cup is the last chance for players like De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku, and I don't
Witzel?
Witzel, yeah.
Maybe.
I don't think they're one of the favorites anymore either, and it's crazy because they have literally been ranked number one team in FIFA for the last 5 years, and they haven't won anything. So I think this inconsistency is kind of how Belgium has always been, and I'm not surprised to see. I mean, obviously they shouldn't be losing to Netherlands 4-1, but I think Netherlands is one of the upcoming teams. They have amazing young players, and with Van Dijk and De Ligt, they have the veterans too. So I think they're one of the sleeper teams for me in the World Cup.
Dylan, anything you want to add else on Belgium or Netherlands or Poland in general out of these three countries? Like anything you want to add on these three countries in their form in the Nations League so far?
I mean, that group itself is just really tough. There's just so much talent there. I think Belgium's kind of one of those teams that, like, if you catch them on the wrong day, you could just get smoked because they just have so much firepower. I think Kevin De Bruyne's probably a top 3, if not top 5 player in the world right now. I think we could all agree on that. And then they've just been pretty deep for a while now. I know Hazard's not who he once was, but Mertens, I mean, they have guys, Lukaku, they have guys that played in big-time clubs, that played in Champions League matches, played in Italy, England, all over. So I think roster for roster, they're just as good as anybody, and that's probably why they've been ranked so high. But I think, as you guys both said, they've just been super inconsistent. Thibaut Courtois, you could argue he's a top 3 goalie in the world, and then sometimes he makes, like, amateur mistakes. But I think it was nice to see them bounce back. And I also think Netherlands is, like, super slept on. Let's not forget that, they were in the World Cup final not too long ago. I know it's a different team then, but they've had winning in their DNA for a long time now. I mean, there's been legends that have been playing for that team for literally over 100 years. So you can never count them out, and I think they're kind of on the come up. And with Van Dijk and they have De Ligt, as we just spoke about, Frankie de Jong. I mean, they got younger stars coming up, and they still have veterans, so they're super solid. I think that's a fun group. That's probably, I think that might be the toughest group out of all of them, besides maybe the Italy one. It's just a lot of talent, and all those games are good.
If you look at Group A4, it's so tight. You have Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, and Wales. Netherlands with 6, Belgium with 3, Poland with 3, and Wales with 0. Yeah, interesting thing about Wales is, like, they just beat Ukraine, and I'm going to be honest, that was probably one of the best games I have ever watched in my life. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Wales is going to the World Cup the first time, I believe, in 64 years. The last time Wales was in the World Cup, Pele was 17 years old. Any thoughts on Wales going to the World Cup and and obviously we know their first game is against the United States. Any thoughts? Any pressure on the U.S. right now?
No, I said it on this podcast and to my friends that I wanted Wales out of all the teams. It was either Wales, Scotland, or Ukraine. I think Wales is the worst of those three, and they somehow made it. But that just shows the beauty of soccer. I think that the stat you said about Pele is insane. It's just I can't even believe that they'd never been in the World Cup with Bale and Ramsey and all those guys. But I think they play USA the first game, and I would say
the first game. Yes,
I would say definitely it's a must-win for USA because then they have England the second game, and you can't expect to take any points from that game. So definitely a must-win against Wales, and I think we kind of lucked out with them going through because Ukraine, I think they're a pretty solid team, and the whole world would have been behind them, rooting for them, obviously with all the other stuff going on. And Scotland has some really good players as well. They have Robertson, Tierney, McTominay, these guys. So I think
McGinn.
Yeah, I think we got pretty lucky there, but they're still no slouch, and we got to take them seriously on the first game, and we really got to win that one. Sure.
No, I agree. Like I said, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, now that the United States, they do have Wales. I mean, their exhibition matches, they played Morocco. I think they won, 3-0. They played a good game. Against Uruguay, I'm going to be honest, they could have lost. Cavani in front of the net, I have no idea how he missed the wide-open net in the 90th minute. It still hurts me because he played for Napoli and everything else, what he's done. But thank God he missed at the same time, too. But it's crazy to see that that the United States, I guess, kept it alive, and they did get a draw against Uruguay, and that just shows how much depth they have. And there's somebody I really, really want to see, like going to be the next big kid. I want to see maybe Sean Johnson be the next goalkeeper, possibly, or Matt Turner, one of the two. I don't think Zach Stefan's going to be the goalkeeper out of the three. But anything you guys want to add on any other Nations League matches you thought were interesting, or any stats or statistics?
No.
No, I think we pretty much covered it all for the Nations League.
I'm just going to go over the groups real quick so far. So far in A1 is Denmark, Austria, France, and Croatia. Denmark with 6, Austria with 3, France with 1, Croatia with 1. It's a very, very tough group there. Out of those 4 teams in Group A1, who do you got going through? Who's your one team going to the final?
I mean, I know France is tied for last, but
Right now, France is 3rd place.
I can't bet against them. I would say they're going to turn it around. There's still a bunch of games left, and eventually they're going to just be too strong for those other teams. I think I would have France, and then I think Austria will get relegated.
So you said France and then Austria getting relegated?
Yeah.
I see that. How about you, Dill? Out of those 4 nations, who do you think is going to be the final team to go through?
Where's Croatia right now? They're in last?
They're tied.
Croatia right now is in 4th place, tied with France. So it's Denmark, Austria, France, Croatia.
I don't know. I think Denmark gets through. They've been winning and tying against some tough teams, so I think they're also they're ahead. That helps. Let's say Denmark, and then I think France makes a late run. I think they probably start playing their studs, and yeah, I think Denmark and France.
You know what? I'm gonna say Denmark in 1st place, and I'm gonna say a surprise player, Simon Kjaer. I think he used to play for Torino, and then Kasper Schmeichel. What a goalkeeper he is, and Martin Braithwaite. I believe he still plays for Barcelona.
Yeah.
But fantastic team, and everything that happened with Christian Eriksen during the Euros, it gave him this passion, this grind, and I feel so happy for him. Still playing football in the with the Denmark national team. with everything that he's been through. But what a story would be just for Denmark to go to the Final Four in this tournament, and who knows what could happen. In Group A2, we have Portugal, Spain, Czech Republic, and Switzerland. Portugal right now has 7 points. Spain has 5. Czech Republic with 4, and Switzerland with 0. Who's your one team to go through?
I'm going to say Portugal. I think they have the momentum from the World Cup qualifying, and I think they just have so much talent. Even if you take out Ronaldo, they're just amazing all around. Their defense is old and kind of just their center backs. Their outside backs are really good with Cancelo and Semedo, Nuno Mendes, but I think they're top right now, and I think they'll be able to hold it through.
Dylan, who's your team to go through out of that group?
Yeah, I think Portugal probably keeps the lead there in first right now, so that helps in terms of points. And then I think if Spain's winning right now, I think if they close this game out, that'll give them another 3. They should lock up second place. I don't know who plays again after that. I know Portugal and Spain, they tied each other, so I don't see Spain really dropping any more points, so I think it probably ends that way.
Portugal winning the group?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say the same, and I'm gonna say if there's one player I do believe is gonna be the next big thing in this tournament, and I think it's Diego Jota. Yeah. Phenomenal player, great kid. You did see what he did against Spain, amazing player, and obviously Bernardo Silva, phenomenal player for Man City. And obviously, I'm gonna be honest, Ronaldo is aging, but he scored 2 goals against Switzerland. And every time that guy touches the ball, it's like touching gold. I got Portugal getting first to be safe. I'm going to move on to the next group, which is obviously A3. You know what? We'll talk about A3 later in the future. We'll talk about A4. We'll skip. We're going to talk about A4, which is Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, and Wales. Netherlands with 6 points, Belgium with 3, Poland with 3, and Wales with 0. So far, Netherlands would win the group. Do you think the Netherlands have that team to move on to the next round, the knockout stage? We'll start with you, Anthony.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like I said earlier, they're my sleeper team for the World Cup. I think they're really, really good right now. They just have 3 phenomenal center backs, and they got a lot of young guys that we might not know about that are playing on Ajax. And like I said in an earlier podcast, Danjuma, who did really well in the Champions League this year. So I think they're kind of an underrated team that many people don't kind of give credit for right now, but I think they're really, really good. So I think they're gonna come in first for sure.
Dylan, who's your team to go through out of this group?
Yeah, I think Netherlands probably comes first, maybe Belgium second. It looks like Poland's probably done, but I think that the Netherlands, I mean, they spanked Belgium, right? 4-1, 5-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Netherlands beat Belgium 4-1, and then Belgium defeated Poland 6-1.
Yeah. But I think that kind of just shows that they could really hang on anybody. I mean, on paper, Belgium's team is match up with pretty much any nation, and Netherlands had their way with them. And I like these tournaments too because you learn about guys that play in lesser leagues, like guys that play in the Eredivisie, that probably this always happens, and then the World Cup comes, and then these guys get bought, and then they start going to Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, stuff like that. It always happens. So I think that's kind of fun to spot those guys before that happens. So we'll probably see that. I know there's a lot of, like Ant said, a lot of good Netherlands players that come from the youth programs playing Ajax. And that's what happened with De Jong and De Ligt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happened with them, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they've always produced big name guys. So I think that Netherlands is tough. They'll probably make it through. And I think Netherlands, I forget the World Cup group, but just off topic, but I think they have a super easy group for the World Cup, right?
I think they're with Qatar Ecuador and someone else.
Yeah, so if that's the case, I was just looking at the other
Okay, so Netherlands group is for the World Cup. You got Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, and then obviously Netherlands.
Yeah, I smoked
It's not
it.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not an easy group to pertain because you have to play against the host nation, which is could be a tough battle mentally, physically. Ecuador is that team, they play scrappy, hit and miss, and then obviously Senegal is the best team in Africa right now at the moment. So it is a tough group. And that first match against Senegal was really good to determine who wins the group. So if Netherlands could win against Senegal in the opening match, they probably could go through. So, like I said, we'll see.
There are reports that Ecuador has been kicked out of the World Cup. It's not official yet, but there is a lot of rumors about it.
Does that mean the Italians can take the place?
Supposedly, it's going to go to Chile because Ecuador played with like an illegal player against them twice. So they're basically giving the wins to Chile. But I saw that Italy, it is a law that the next highest rated team in FIFA would go through. So Italy can appeal it. I don't know if they will. It's something we'll see in the future. I really hope they do. I know it's not how we want to get there, but I think we do deserve to be there. Like, seeing the other teams, we're definitely better than some of these teams. And I think I said it before that the Euro winner should have an automatic qualification like they used to do. Like all the country tournaments should have automatic qualification. So, I mean, it's something we have to look for. And so I think it will be the Chile or Italy replacing them. Probably Chile.
I hope it's the Italians. I mean, I guess I'm being biased, but just for everything that happened, and just for us to be there, like what a story it would be. We get eliminated for the World Cup, and we find a way to still get there. Like, how funny would the reports be? That would be like a dream movie scenario. But that would be pretty cool to see. Anyways, moving on. For the Netherlands, there's one kid I want to talk about. His name is Steven Bergwijn. Bergwijn, I don't know how to say his name.
From Tottenham?
But oh my, he scored. Yeah, for Tottenham, he scored a goal against Belgium. Oh my, this kid is something else. I absolutely love this Netherlands side. I hope for them to win the group, but you know what? I have to go with Belgium. You got Kevin De Bruyne, you got Lukaku, Batshuayi, Dries Mertens, Witsel. I think Belgium, with their attacking side, is just so good. When it comes to Netherlands, I feel like their defense is a lot better. And I think it's going to come to the last match today, probably. One of the two might win the group in the Nations League. But maybe I think Belgium might squeeze in the last 2 games or so. That's my prediction. And let's talk about, obviously, Italy-England. Prediction. I'm going to go with you, Anthony. This Saturday, Italy-England, go. What do you think?
I'm going to go for 1-1. Unfortunately, I think England kind of has to win. They're in last place right now, and I've been saying they're kind of my favorite for the World Cup, and they're not showing it right now. And I think they're at home. They want the revenge. I hope we could just – even a tie would be fine, honestly. We would stay in first place and keep England in the bottom. So I hope we could hold off for a tie.
That's interesting to say that, Anthony, because if hypothetically, let's say if Italy and England do tie, it will be the exact same result of Euro 2020. Both teams do split a point, and if that did happen, Italy would have 5. The Hungary-Germany match we don't know yet, and then obviously England would have 2. It will be interesting to see, but I think we're gonna move on with Dylan. I'm gonna say my prediction later. Dylan, what do you think? Italy, England, go.
I'll go 1-1. Harry Kane scores a penalty kick.
Harry Kane scores a penalty. Who do you think's gonna score with the Azzurri?
Pellegrini.
Pellegrini, 3 goals in 3 games.
Cut out.
Well, I'm gonna invite him back. I'm sorry. I don't know why I disconnected. But anyways, So like I was saying, this Italy side right now they're in form. They're fantastic. Let me see if it went through. Okay, there you go. Okay, so like I was saying, this Italy team right now is in form. They're fantastic right now. And this is exactly what they need. I'm gonna say Italy 2-1 because I've been seeing 2-1s in the Euros a lot, and especially we just saw a 2-1 happen last game against Hungary. I'm gonna say 2-1. I'm gonna say Giotto gets his first goal, and I'm gonna say Spinazzola gets a goal. With everything that happened with him, he wanted to play in this final. I'm gonna say he scores 2-1 Italy, and England. I'm gonna say Jack Grealish if he does play. I think he's fantastic. I think he's gonna be the next key thing. Anything you want to add, Anthony, on the Nations League? On any matches you saw? Anything surprising happen, or anything at all
No, I
on this match?
think we could wrap it up.
Okay. Well, that's about to do it. Thank you so much, Anthony, for your time, and obviously Dylan that signed off. It's been an absolute pleasure. Forza Azzurri this Saturday on VIX and Fubo TV as well. This Saturday, June 11th at 2:45, the rematch of Euro 2020. Forza Italia, let's go, boys, all right? I'll see you, Anthony. And send me your videos, bro. That's fantastic. I love it. Take care, bro. Peace.